by the end of it all, she could stop and start time by her own free will. But in the present time, she was stuck in a place that moves too fast. Fated to be eternally waiting, she was trapped in a shadow reality. There's two different types of reality. In one, everything is composed, as if life was a still image. But the life in the image wasn't static. It moved according to its own rhythm, a pace that was faster than reality. And so she waited. She wrote mindlessly about time. She didn't know why she was writing. She didn't even know what she was waiting for. She was waiting for control. She wanted to grab reality, and with it time, and focus on what she wanted to see. Most of all, she wanted to alter the essential nature of reality by creating and manipulating her own. She didn't like the confines of realism. The boundaries of time slowly began to weaken. She could look around now, move through the scene at her own pace. If such a statement weren't a paradox, I would say she was creating a moving photograph, a singular image that she had full control over. Essentially, she created what you see. She created another reality. But she was stuck in the alternate reality. Although she gained access to the other, time had trapped her in a life that moved too quickly, and her quiet waiting soon became anxious. In her fantasy, in her created reality, in her moving photograph, she would show you what she wanted you to witness, but never all at once. She imposed a sort of subjective realism on the scene, telling you explicitly what to focus on. She tried desperately to get out of her life, where all she could do was wait. But even when things appeared to be stopping, even when time slowed to a halt, her reality would inevitably continue on fast forward. And the irony of it all was that she was doing nothing, that nothing moved so quickly. Her idle waiting transformed into a state of hyperactivity, where nothing became something, and something turned into nothing. She didn't want to capture images of reality. She wanted to live in, be a part of, essentially exist in the alternate reality which she created. There was something magical to this world of hers. It was almost surreal and looked too good to be a real reality. But of course she preferred it. She even placed her characters in dialogue with herself. And by imposing herself in the reality she wanted to live in, the reality where time slows down because you want the moment to last, her moving photographs reached a new level in personal subjectivity. She gave a special life to things and people that didn't exist for herself in the life of waiting that was waiting anxiously for her inevitable return. She wanted to remember this moment just as it is now. Seeing them talk to her was more beautiful than hearing the words themselves. This is how it was a fantasy. Nothing here was really happening, but the experience of walking into an image, moving around a photograph, giving movement to the static, was thrilling. She could show ambiguity, or she could let you see the real picture. Finally, she could stop and start time as she pleased. Sometimes you have to move quickly to get where you want to be, and sometimes you have to stop completely before you can go. She was traversing the boundary between the still and the moving reality, between an objective representation and her subjective experience of the real. She didn't want to wait any longer. She lived in a shadow reality, but invented an alternate reality where she controlled time. She could stop whenever she wanted. She could change or stay the same. There were no rules.